Hey YouTube, welcome back to Cars No Cap. Today I wanted to do the 2023 Ford F-150 XLT Sport for you guys. I am on vacation right now with the family and picked this up as a rental vehicle, so thought it'd be a good opportunity to review it for you guys. Been driving it for about a full week right now, and I have a lot to say about this vehicle. Try to keep this short and quick, but I will take you through what it's been like owning this vehicle for about a week. So this is the F-150 XLT. It is the Sport trim, and I think this MSRP on this one, it's a rental car, so I can't tell you exactly what the MSRP is, but I think it's around $55K based on my research. And you'll see that it's, it's designed to be a little sporty. It's got these cool wheels on it. I don't know, I'll talk about this later in the video, but the suspension, I don't know if it's a different suspension than what comes on, something like a Lariat or something like that. But the suspension's been a little bumpy, and we'll touch on that in a little bit later in the video. Sorry about this air conditioner here. So that's about the price. Now, note that these prices on these F-150s can get up quite a bit higher than that. They can get up to around 80K or higher, depending on what trim you get. But this one here, I'm thinking around 55K. On the exterior, some of the things that I do like about this truck is the side profile. I think it has a really nice side profile. I think they did a good job with the styling here. Looks pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of the front end though. I will say the front end, it's not bad. I mean, it's not like the worst. I would definitely buy one of these trucks, but I think something about the grille, I don't think they could have done like a cooler honeycomb in that grille on the Sport Edition. So not my favorite grille. Some of the higher trims do look a little bit better. And I already mentioned the wheels, but the chrome with the black, it's almost like kind of like that piano key black. But the chrome with that piano key black looks cool. It's definitely not my favorite wheel, but it's not bad. It looks pretty good in person. And it came with these Goodyear Wrangler all-terrains on it that look like they have a pretty good trim. I won't get to test it out off-road, so won't be able to review those for you. It has these stock running boards here. Pretty cool. And this one, my rental car, came with the 5-liter V8 Ford Coyote motor. Pop that now and take a look at that and share some of that with you. Pop this hood real quick. Ford has a pretty easy hood latch with hydraulic dampers on the hood, because that would be a heavy hood otherwise. But those hydraulic dampers definitely make it nice and easy to get in there. See Ford with the V8 here. Massive airbox, V8 on the airbox. That's kind of weird the way that goes into the intake manifold. But you'll see, this is all plastic. This is plastic. Yeah, a lot of plastic going on. But it is what it is. I mean, these motors are still known to be pretty reliable and fairly cheap to fix. This is the 5-liter Coyote from Ford. And I didn't realize this, but this year it has 400 horsepower. And I don't remember it always having 400 horsepower. And the hybrid power plant that comes in the other F-150s also has 400 horsepower. So you can either get the 5-liter V8 or you can get the twin-turbo EcoBoost V6. Fuel economy on this one is rated at 17 in the city, 24 on the highway, and 20 combined. I think this V8 is the route that I would go if I was buying this truck, because it does sound really good. When you're getting on it, you can really hear it. It has like a good low V8 rumble that not a lot of trucks have, and I think at 400 horsepower from a naturally aspirated V8, I mean, it's one of the more powerful pickup truck options you can buy right now, and one of the few remaining naturally aspirated V8s in a full-size pickup that has, like a modern interior and things like that. Those of you who follow the channel know that I just bought the 2021 Tundra TRD Pro, which is why I bought that, because it has the 5.7 V8. So yeah, it sounds really good. The hybrid version can tow like 14,000 pounds, while this V8 can only tow about 13,000 pounds. So not as good on towing, but still 13,000 pounds is a huge towing load. So most of us are not going to touch that towing load. That's like, you know, that's a pretty large trailer, unless you're pulling like a full-on construction equipment. You're probably not going to touch that. The 0 to 60 on the V6, I found it quoted on Car and Driver was quoted at 5.4 seconds. So I don't know. This has the 10-speed automatic, so I'm not sure what exactly the 0 to 60 is on this V8, but I do know that the V6 with 400 horsepower is about 5.4. I don't think it was tested at the time that I was looking into it. Cool, but all right, let's hop in the interior and talk about the interior and how it drives real quick. So the interior in this thing is really nice. I just bought a truck, and when I got in this thing, I thought to myself, damn, probably should have got a newer truck. And I might actually get a newer truck now. But yeah, the interior in this thing is really nice. This 12-inch infotainment is cool. Full screen back here is really cool. So the interior is definitely nice. Now, a few things about this interior that if you're buying this car you should know. A couple positives, a couple negatives real quick. One of the big positives is that when you sit in the truck and you turn it on, the seatbelt chime is not ridiculously annoying if your passenger does not buckle their seatbelt. That's one of those things that I do really like about this interior. It's kind of a feature rather than the interior, but one of the things that I wrote down as a note about the truck. You know what? Let's fire it up. Why don't we take it for a quick drive, and I'll chat through the rest of these. So you can hear that V8 pretty well. You'll see the 75 years of Ford right there on the infotainment. Let me just get some air blasting in here real quick, because your boy's hot. It's a hot one out here today. All right, cool. So the interior is really nice. All the touch points in the interior feel very high quality to me. You got leather on the armrest here. You got this really nice, I don't know what this material is. It's kind of like a fake wood on the dash, but also really nice. It opens up for a little extra storage there, which I do really like. And there's this like kind of Softex material up here on the dash that I do also think is pretty good. This one doesn't have any sort of improved sound system, but I know that some of them do. And the sound system here is decent though. It's not bad. It has this little, I don't know, gray etching that almost kind of looks like a city grid or something like that. I'm sure it has something to do with the 75th anniversary that, it's probably like Detroit or something. Someone in the comments is going to rip me about that, I know it. Anyway, black headliner. I do love the black headliner. It's pretty sweet. No sunroof in here though. Would like to have that. Sunglasses holder. Your basic sunglasses holder, but you know what? It feels high quality. I will say the interior does feel really nice. Now, let's talk about some of the positives and negatives and go in a little bit more detail here. So, one of the things that is really great about this interior is it's super quiet. So when I'm on the highway, driving with the family, it's incredibly quiet in here. And while we're on positives, let's talk about the space, because I have the back seat folded up right now, and I mean the space on the back floor is huge. I mean, it's great. There's so much space back there. And it's a full flat lay. I'll show you that real quick. Just pop out of the truck. I got some baby toys in here from my little man, but full flat lay. And you just pull that little lever there and it releases the seat. And you got a full bench seat. And you can flip it up. Now, some of the new trucks with the hybrids are having like hybrid systems here, which can be tough. This one doesn't. You still get the storage, which is pretty cool. And then I think we got the 5.5 foot bed in this while we're back here spraying bed liner. Not bad. Really, really good lighting at night. And I'll show you that in a clip right now. All right, so to show you what the F-150 does at night with the key in your pocket, as you get close to the vehicle, whole thing lights up like that. It's got these floodlights all around the truck, which are actually pretty bright, so it's a pretty cool feature. So yeah, as you can see, really good lighting around the truck at night. Ford has these weird door handles that, like, I don't know, they have like a weird lever there. I don't know if I'm about that life, but I prefer a door handle that's normal. But I will say you get used to it. It's not the end of the world. So yeah, that's kind of the space. The doors open pretty wide, which is cool. Most pickup trucks do, though. The benefits of a pickup truck being one of the best family haulers that I think people don't always know about that. So yeah, it's spacious. It's really comfortable. The materials look really nice. The infotainment is pretty sweet. So you'll see it automatically connected to my CarPlay, which I'm surprised because like I'm filming right now and it's still connected. So that's pretty sweet. The CarPlay pops right up. It's pretty responsive. I don't know if it'll work. Yeah, it's probably not gonna work right now because I'm filming with my phone. But pretty sweet there. The camera system around the truck is really good. So sorry the lighting's not better here, guys. I'm down the shore and trying to film for you here, but you can kind of see how good that backup camera is. It's really great, and it's got the steering tracking. So if I put it in reverse and I turn the wheel, so let's put it in reverse, and I turn the wheel, you'll see it's got those lines for like a trailer. It's got the center line of the truck. So if you're trying to, like, for example, if you're trying to hook up a hitch or something like that, you know, you have the spot where you can kind of match your trailer with your hitch. So that's pretty nice. I will say the infotainment's been great, responsive. I don't love that Ford puts this outline around the infotainment, but that's, you know, they put kind of like their own skin around it, which is not the best thing in the world. This one has heated seats, no cooled seats. Obviously 4x4, you get your 4x4 buttons down here, trailer brake controller. This Pro Trailer Assist, which I'm not even sure what that does, guys. Someone in the comment section can probably tell me. I'm assuming it kind of helps you back up to your trailer, but I'm not really sure. I don't tow a lot of trailers. You got a full power outlet up here, which is great. Sorry for that. And a 12 volt, which is solid. One thing I think that is kind of gimmicky in this truck, man, watch this. Watch how janky this is. This John right here, it's meant to fold down so it gives you more room, but it just kind of sounds like some old rickety toy. Ready? I don't know if you can hear that, but I mean, it's a cool idea. It moves like a piece of shit. It like really feels cheap, and I don't like that because it's not that cheap of a truck at $55K. So just something to, you know, it's not a big deal. It wouldn't make me not buy the truck. I just kind of think it's a little gimmicky. It is nice when it's folded down though, and you can use it as a cup holder when you're in drive, which is pretty cool. So I will say the storage in here is really, really great. You got storage back here, cup holders back there. So all that stuff in here is pretty good. The buttons all feel good. You still have a lot of physical button controls here, which is solid. And one last thing that I hate about this interior is the Ford gauge cluster. You can't see this at night, but the Ford gauge cluster uses this like blue color. And again, apologies, but you see how the gauges, like the little hands on the gauges, are blue. I don't like that color. I think it's just like cheap, and Ford's had it forever. I wish they would change that. But again, I'm kind of nitpicking. So that's that. Now let's take it for a ride, and we'll talk a little bit more about how it rides. All right, take her for a drive real quick. And there's a couple things I want to touch on here about how this thing drives. Now, pickup trucks, a lot of times these days are used for family haulers. And with that, you'd expect it to be comfortable. Now, this is comfortable in this cabin until you hit a bump. And as I mentioned, you know, it's quiet, right? Like, you can't really hear much going on in here. The motor's kind of quiet. I like that. But The suspension is, in this Sport, like, absolutely atrocious. And now, I think of myself as a pretty reasonable, nice reviewer. I don't like to give terrible reviews on cars. I try to be honest, right? And most cars aren't terrible these days. They're pretty good. Now, I personally, if you're not weighting down the bed and hauling a trailer, I would never in a million years buy this Sport trim of this F-150 simply because of how it rides compared to similarly priced competitors. And I'm not really, for example, like the Toyota Tundra or something like that, the new one, you can get an SR5 55 that is going to ride a little bit softer than this. Now, if you don't mind that pickup truck feeling ride, it's all good. But I will say, like, I'm surprised. I'm unpleasantly surprised by how bumpy this thing is with no weight in the bed. If you haul, it might not be a problem, but if you do, if you don't, it's kind of like, why is it so bad? I don't know. I wish Ford would have improved it. It's pretty rough. So yeah, that's my biggest gripe with this truck. The whole week I've had my family in this truck and we've just been driving around. Every time I hit a bump, I feel like my wife drops her phone and my stepdad smacks his head on the top of the roof. I mean, it's bad. So that is the negative. But getting into some of the positives are, again, it's fast. The 400 horsepower on this thing, you do really feel it. So if you're looking for that naturally aspirated V8, this is a good option to tap into. I think the pedal in this thing is a little bit touchy. I don't really like how it feels, and I think the transmission gear hunts. This 10-speed transmission, I've driven before, and I don't remember it feeling this way, so I don't know if it's a combination of the naturally aspirated V8 or what, but this thing gear hunts, and I'm not really sure why. I just am, like, really kind of confused, because I've read good, positive reviews about this one. Now, this is a rental car. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but this thing gear hunts pretty hard sometimes, and it just is always shifting. I know it's kind of like the nature of a 10-speed, but this one just feels like it's exceptionally bad, and then it's always shifting. And now here we go. It's a perfect example of the turning radius on this thing is also atrocious. I mean, look, I turned it around there, but I don't know. It's hard to park in parking spaces. Like, I've had many pickup trucks. This one, the turning radius seems to be really bad. The positives, though, the steering holds a line, as I mentioned. Like, if you're on the highway, this thing is pretty solid, holds a line straight, and doesn't kind of walk a ton on you. It corners pretty well because it's a pretty stiff suspension. I think it actually corners pretty decent, and it does drive small, except for the turning radius. And I do think there's awesome visibility in this cabin. Ford has these lowered arm cutouts that other pickup trucks do not have, and it does a really good job in terms of visibility. There's not a ton of blind spots, and you do have good blind spot monitoring in the event that that you do need to see on the side of the truck that you can't see. So overall, I would say this truck, if I had to give it a score out of 10, I'd give it a 7 out of 10, right? This truck is solid. There's nothing wrong with this truck. I would, if you really need to like save some money, look, it's not a bad truck. The interior is actually really nice. I've been enjoying driving it. Don't let me get you wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's not a shit truck. It's a really good truck. But with that said, I think there's a lot of things that could be done better in this truck. And I will say that the suspension is definitely one of those things that I'd expect to be a little bit smoother and ride a little bit more plush in this thing. So with that, that's my biggest gripe. But with that is the 2023 F-150 XLT Sport trim. Let me know what you guys think. I know there's a lot of Ford fans out there, and me, I'm a pretty big Toyota guy. Ford's always been my second favorite, though, I will say. So this rental car situation kind of put a bad taste in my mouth a little bit with the ride. But other than that, the truck's been really nice. I mean, I don't dislike driving it. So it's hard to, I'm critiquing it here, but I will say, like, I do love this truck. Someone told me I could buy it for $45,000 tomorrow. I'd be like, yeah, sweet, I'll take it. But I probably wouldn't go buy it for $55,000. There's probably other things that I might buy in the $55,000, $60,000 range. So with that, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Again, Cars No Cap. And if you did find this video helpful, please tap that like button, hit the subscribe button. I got more videos coming for you. We got some new Toyota stuff coming. So until next time, guys. Peace.